Alrighty, baby. Back to our regularly scheduled program, Sean. For Sean's Spin of the Morning, episode 54. On a Monday, September 15th, presented by Off Base Media. We're back at it, kid. How are we feeling?
Good. It's been like a little over a week since we've done one of these. So but you know what's kind of crazy? Not a whole lot has changed since the last one we did. There have been some sort of swings, but not a whole lot. I know last time we were thinking that maybe some stuff would shake up, but more or less, a lot of it stayed the same. There will be some changes that we'll talk about, but we can get right into it if we want.
Right in our vibe check. Yeah, some things, a little bit of movement. Seattle overtakes Houston is probably the biggest notable thing. And a couple of teams have clinched a playoff spot. Brewers are the first team to do it. Phils did clinch a playoff spot. They're looking to clinch a division tonight. Magic number is 1 for a division title. But in terms of playoff burst, Shawnee, your boys got it done.
Yeah, we love that. And I did see a lot of Phillies fans on Twitter or X. I always refer to it as Twitter, but a lot of fans on X being like, we really need to soak this in. We used to pray for times like this, dude. Like 4 straight years in the postseason. Dude, we were. I mean, it's not too long ago, like five or 6 years ago, we were rolling out lineups where most of the people who watch baseball now for the Phillies, they couldn't name half the team. Yeah. So, like, it's insane how far we've come in such a short time, and we've become a very prominent team in the MLB. You know, the second person to clinch a title, have the second most wins in the entire MLB, even with our ace going down, even with dealing with injuries as well, which we'll get into later. But wow. Has it been an unreal ride? And let me just say this about the Phillies as well. I am so happy that I was so unbelievably wrong about Harrison Bader.
The master.
Holy shit, is this guy unreal. Like, every single time I'm watching a game and he comes up to the plate, I'm shocked when he doesn't get a hit. That's how good he's become.
The Mets. He is a Met killer.
Dude, that is how good he has become in this while wearing a Phillies jersey. Plays a great center field as well. He'll play batting a very good leadoff position as well. And even if Trey comes back and they go with a 1-2 punch out of them, don't mind that at all either. And I like what they got cooking right now, what Harrison Bader is bringing to the table. Right now, in my eyes, he's one of the best, if not the best trade deadline acquisition.
Well, yeah, I was actually thinking about that too, because his numbers have been off the charts, and obviously Yohan Duran has been good since he came over. Like, he had instant success. Harrison Bader, I think it took people a little bit to warm up to that because he wasn't as much of a need, I guess, like the closing you needed, and he came out and now all eyes on Duran, and he performed instantly. Where Bader, people were like, oh, we need, is he going to be the answer? Well, now it is. But either way, he's probably. It's weird to think about this, Sean. Now, let me give you this. Harrison Bader, if you would have said in September, before the season started, that Harrison Bader would come over the deadline and be the best right-handed hitting bat right now, nobody would believe that. And if you would have said that Taijuan Walker is the best right-handed arm, nobody would have believed that.
Yeah, well,
how about that?
Taijuan Walker got lucky that Wheeler got hurt. So, yeah, he does get to claim that one.
Yeah, he gets to claim that, but he's been good. He's been very reliable, more reliable than Nola. I don't know if we could kind of go down. I don't know if we want to go down this rabbit hole with the Phils, because there's other things we're talking about with them. But
That role's kind of switched now a little bit too.
If you were to roll out 3 starters, though, is my point. I don't think Taiwan makes it, but there's reason to believe if you want to put a righty there, it wouldn't be. For me, it's not Nola.
It is Nola.
It would be.
At 108, Nola has gotten better and Taiwan's come back down to earth a little bit more, giving up more runs and stuff like that. He just hasn't been getting that many losses because guess what? The Phillies have been hitting the shit out of the baseball as of late. Not yesterday, minus yesterday, but Nola has shown signs of being a lot better than previously, but he still has his ups and downs.
Yeah, he had that good Mets start, but then yesterday he got his doors blown off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not consistent. Like it should be Nola. You want it to be Nola, but it's not consistent enough that makes you kind of be like, oh shit.
I know it's not. It's like I'm pretty sure Nola threw like 5 good innings yesterday, and then the 6th just got absolutely murdered. But anyway, go back to your original question. Right now, it's still our top 3 guys, and this is what's weird because it does suck. It's Sanchez is number 1, clear cut, no doubt about it. Sanchez is number 1. You could have argued Sanchez is the number 1 even with Wheeler was still in here. Obviously, Wheeler would have been the number 1. Obviously,
but he was pitching to that extent,
but Sanchez was that good and has been continuously that good. Then it's Ranger is the number 2.
Agreed.
He's been great as well. But then the third, you have to throw Nola in there because of his experience, because he's pitched in the playoffs the last 3 years. You just have to. Walker is also more versatile, can move to the pen, come out of the pen, and look a little bit better. But I also need to give some credit to Luzardo. Dude, his last outing, he gave up 4 runs in the first inning, and then until from the 2nd inning to the 8th inning, didn't allow a single hit. Talk about a mental win for Jesus Luzardo. To go out there, get shelled a little bit in the first inning, get knocked around, and then just go lights out. From the 2nd to the 8th. I got to give him a lot more credit because he just bowed down and pitched a fantastic ball game. And he was, just showing emotion out on the mound. Like you could tell this shit means something to him. So I got to give him a lot of credit there.
Yeah, and he's more prone to go deep in games and do that. If Nola's going to do that, he's not going deep. So hopefully Nola can figure his shit out for that because I agree with you. All signs point to Nola being the 3, which realistically – there was a point in time in Philly history that if Wheeler would have got banged up, Nola would have been the 1. But now,
100%.
Now look at him, right? So it's already kind of not. He's already kind of on the cusp as it is. Now, hopefully, he can get his shit together and be a solid 3 locked down. And guess what? We talk about it all the time. You can. What's the word we say? You can kind of revive your season in October. You can, you know what I mean? You can save your season in October. If you have a bad regular season, Nola can go out and be a stud again and pitch like an ace in October. And guess what? That's what people are going to remember. He'll be a hero. Kind of like Manaea last year, who throws cross body, by the way. Like when they needed an ace last year, the Mets. Who knows their deal now? They stink. But last year, Manaea was that guy. And guess what? He made a name for himself. And now he came into this season and everyone's like, oh, Manaea, we're going to be good. No, you're not because it's a small sample size. And now if you want to stay with that division really quick, Sean, the Mets are 12 games back. That's the biggest gap between a first seed and a 2 seed in a division is 12. And that's the Phillies and Mets.
It's absolutely wild because we talked about not a whole lot of swings. Well, yeah, nobody really moved in that division. But guess what? The Phillies went on like what was it? Like a 9-game win streak. Well, I think the Mets lost 12 in a row. So, or whatever. Not 12 in a row, but they lost a lot. They lost like 8 or 9, They lost a lot of freaking games in a row. Got swept by the Phillies in a 4-game set. And also, we need to bring up this narrative. We didn't even talk about this before the show. Are the New York Mets cheating at Citi Field?
Oh, I didn't hear this one.
Are the New York Mets cheating at Citi Field? They are 46-29. Guess what their road record is?
Dog shit.
31-44. That's not that. And for them to 2 weeks prior, I get baseball is a weird, very, very weird sport all over the place. You can go from hot to cold in a matter of instant. But in a 2-week stretch, they swept the Phillies at Citi Field. And then everybody's like, it's now a ball game and stuff like that. Legitimately, a week later, they started to suck. And guess why? Because they were away. And then they come to Citizens Bank Park, get swept in a 4-game series. Are the Mets cheating? I say yes. Guess who the hitting coach is? Guess who they're hitting? Former Astros hitting coach. Oh, my God. What's his name?
I don't know. Oh, I didn't know that much. Oh. Well, remember that Bohm had a problem with that thing in center field or whatever?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I don't know. Is that
No, I don't think that's it. That's been there forever.
Yeah, but is that a correlation to the conspiracy? We got to add shit to the conspiracy. I think they're such pussies that that shitty field is like their safe space.
Their safe space. I gotta find it. Hold on.
Oh, come on. You got to just Google who's the Mets hitting coach.
Oh, okay. So we got Jeremy Barnes, who was a Houston Astro manager in 2017. So there's one.
Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes.
Yeah.
Jeremy Barnes.
And he was with the Astros during that peak time of 2017 in the sign stealing scandal.
You're saying that Jeremy Barnes was on that
he was on that staff.
In that
Astros management staff.
I'm not seeing it, but I'm not mad at the conspiracy. I'm gonna see this Houston Astros coaching staff. We'll see.
Wait, hold on. Let me turn the screen real quick. Ready? Let me find him. Here he is. Ready? How do I turn the fucking screen? Well, actually, look. See? Look at him.
Oh, shit.
Look at him. Look at him. There's the proof. Look at him.
And who's that guy?
His name's Jeremy Barnes. Jeremy.
I'll go with it. I see Dave Hudgens here, but I'll go with the conspiracies. I like that.
Yeah. So maybe they are hitting. Maybe they are cheating. I don't know, but I think we need to keep a close eye on that one, Spin.
I will go down that rabbit hole with you. Whatever to I actually I don't really want to go that narrative. I want to say that I'm okay with it. The only reason I wouldn't is because I just want the Mets to be bad because they're bad. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be like or cheating scandals always good too. Get everybody fired, leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But here's the thing that'll leave a bad taste. You have to win. If you're cheating and you win, then it leaves a bad taste. If you're cheating and you suck, then you really suck. But those are some big words for someone we obviously isn't really like a thing. But either way, love that the Mets suck. That is the next worst thing is the Cleveland is the second place team who's 6.5 back behind Tigers. That's like the second worst. The worst is the Mets being 12 back. Cleveland probably won't make the playoffs, and they're not eliminated or anything. It's close. We'll kind of talk more about that stuff as we get further along. But right now, where things stack up right now, the Mets are a playoff team, 12 back from a first-place team. And we talked about this. There's 12 games left, or at least the Mets have 12 games. It could be like 12, 13, depending who you are. The Mets have 12 games left, 77 wins. If they go 500 in their next 12, there's a decent chance they can make the playoffs with 83 wins. That is disturbing.
Yeah, it is. It's low, and we talked about this before. There probably won't be a 100-win team this season, and that's the second straight year? No 100-win season?
Yeah, there was no 100 winning teams last year. Most likely not this year unless the Milwaukee goes like 9-4 in their next 12, or if they even have 12.
9-3 in their next 12, yeah. 15. Or like 13 or whatever it is.
They also have 12 games, the Brewers. Yeah. So they have to go 9-12 or 9-4 in their next 12 to get to 100. Not impossible. Phillies, I guess, could technically do it. They're 11 away.
It's going to be difficult. But I don't see there being another 100-win team this year, kind of deal. We're going to talk about the standings check in a little bit because it's going to be the biggest thing we talk about until the playoffs and everything. But we had some surprise guys like the Giants come out of nowhere with the Mets sucking so badly. The Mets are so unbelievably lucky this year that they have sucked so bad as of late. But the Giants at one point sucked just as bad as they did. So they really shot themselves in the foot. And the Reds just seem to suck right now as well.
Yeah. How about the D-backs? Two games back. So there's that. But yeah, the Mets, to your point, have been begging to get eliminated from playoff contention, and no one's taking it from them. So they have a little bit of luck on their side in that regard. They are literally begging to get eliminated from the playoffs. No one can take it from the Reds. Were at one point were a half game back. Now they're 2.5. So like they're going on losing streaks too. I'd love to see the Giants sneak in. They're probably the most playoff ready team between like those three teams on the outside looking in. Reds, Diamondbacks, Giants. I think the Giants are the most playoff ready out of those three. But you would assume, like, if the playoffs realistically is the 6 best teams in each division or each league, 6 best, not necessarily, but this year you can say that because seeding is always it varies. But for the most part, you could say it's the 6 best team. I do think the Mets are a top 6 team in the National League. Like, I think with that being said, it would make sense if they got into the playoffs. They are just playing so bad, and I love it, but they are just playing so bad that they could get it would be an embarrassment of riches, and it would be a disappointment as one of the greatest sports disappointments probably ever. Some people probably had them finishing in second place this year.
A lot of people thought
they are finishing in second place, but you get the point, right? Like,
I mean, a lot of people thought they were going to win the division.
People people just thought very highly of them, especially when you go all the way to a championship series last year as a 6 seed, then you win the Soto sweepstakes in the offseason. People probably thought they were going to be better.
And honestly, your pitching didn't change that much either. They just started to suck a whole lot worse than they did last year.
Well, I think that's part of it, right? Like if they didn't do anything to the pitch, like they needed a true ace. We've been very vocal since before the All-Star break about how we don't think that they have innings eaters to prevail over like the course of a full season, and we're seeing it now. It's been one of their issues, and now they're relying on like 3 young guys, kind of who have a combined you can count on 2 or 3 hands, probably 3 hands, the amount of starts that they have made here. Put one of your hands up to the screen. See, that's probably on 3 hands the amount of starts that those 3 guys combined have in the major leagues. So, and McLean's been really good. He's probably your game 1 starter. But
and Tong's been a Tong.
Yo, what's his name? Who the fuck knows? Jonah. What's his name?
And Tom. I think Tom. But he's been up and down too. Like he's been. I mean, he had an electric first start, but I think he's gotten hit around a little bit.
He's got 11 and 2/3. Yeah, no, he has. He went 2/3 of an inning on the 12th, which I think was Friday. 2/3 of an inning and 6 earned.
Yeah, so like he's been getting hit around too. Their pitching's been their number one. I mean, like you have Juan Soto who just had a 40-30 season and is still going. Lindor hasn't been terrible, and like you've had role guys come throughout. Like Vientos is starting to hit the ball again. Nimmo's had a pretty good year, but like when your pitching is as bad as it is, your hitting almost has to be the best in all of baseball, and their hitting is not the best in all of baseball.
And to my point from before, out of those 3 young arms, 11 total starts at the major league level combined between the 3 of them. So yes, you can count on 3 hands. You can count on 3 hands here. Put your 11. Yeah, you can count on 3 hands the amount of starts that all 3 of them make combined. Like usually guys, you kind of want a top of the line horse that can make 30 to 32 starts alone in a single season. Obviously these guys came up over the last few months now, but like you don't have that true ace. And now it's like, hey, young guys, welcome to September baseball. You've never tasted September in the major leagues before, but now we need you to be our top 2 or 3 arms.
You've never tasted May, June, July, or August. Yeah. Welcome to September.
Yeah, welcome to the show, kids. We need arms, and we're asking you to answer the call. Either way, that's the Mets. They have issues. If I'm a Mets fan, I'm not sleeping well at night, and if I'm an anyone else fan, I'm loving the fact that the Mets fans aren't sleeping well at night. Mm-hmm. Let's stick with the Phils for a second, because an article came out. We talked a little bit about this a little while ago, but now that it's confirmed that the Phillies have a playoff berth, we can bring it back. An article came out last week from ESPN. It said the headline was, "If the Phillies fall short of the playoffs, could owner John Middleton look for a managerial change?" That's per an ESPN article that came out last week. Remember, we talked about this a little bit. I think yes. And I also made the claim a while ago that if they were to get to a World Series, I'd fire fucking what's his name?
Yeah, Rob.
I'd still fire Rob. I think this should be Rob's last season, no matter what.
Unless they win.
Even still, no matter what, for me. I know I'm in the minority when I say that, but for me, even if the Phillies win, I would be okay with firing Rob,
We did talk a lot about this, and the one thing with Rob is when things are going great, he's great. He's great. When things are going well, he's great. He just lets the team play. He doesn't do a whole lot to a lineup. He's been kind of learning from his mistakes in the past because the lineup has changed this year now more than it has in the past 3 years combined. They've moved a ton of people around. Schwarber, Harper, even Castellanos, Bohm, and even now Bader's up in the leadoff position. They have moved it around so much as of late and it's working. It's working. He's like, okay, well, somebody's out today. Somebody's not hitting. Guess what? You're getting moved down in the lineup. We need to protect our top guys. And they're doing that now, and it's been working out well. So I give Rob Thompson a little more credit in that aspect. I think he might know. He probably have heard some of the things in the past being like, why is this not happening? Why do I keep seeing, Nick Costi? No, not. Or like, who was it? It was like Bohm when he was struggling in the 4-hole. Nobody's pitching to Bryce anymore. What's going on? All that, basically. So he's heard that really well. Sometimes I still question what he does with the starters in the bullpen, but that's with every manager. You're going to question a little bit too on top of that. The one thing I always go back with Rob Thompson is, though, when things are bad, it looks 10 times worse because he's never going to give you that jolt to that team. He's never going to go out, get thrown out of a ball game. He's not going to get into anybody. He really lets the veterans lead and stuff like that. And sometimes you need a manager to light a fire under you.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that because Booney, who is similar, and a lot of it has to do with the organization that they're in. Everything looks worse. With the fans are going to be very vocal. They'll bring stuff up. Like things will surface when things are bad. It's really bad. And Booney is a guy that is going to. I don't know if he likes to fire under guys. That maybe he does. Maybe it's gotten to a point where no one even cares that he gets thrown out because he gets thrown out so much. But Boone is a guy that will get thrown out. He will get tossed. He will yell at the umps and stuff. And he's done it so much I don't even know if it matters. Like here's the thing with Rob Thompson: if you were to do that, it would get a really good response.
It's because he doesn't do it. But that's because exactly. So if he were to do that, it would be it would get a very good response. Maybe
he's saving it for a rainy day. I don't know. Here's the thing. I know it sounds crazy when I say that with Rob, and the thing with Philly Rob is he would be the manager that would gotten them to 2 pennants in about 3 years, 22, 24, 25, in 4 years, 2 pennants and 2 division titles, 4 playoff appearances, right? In his 3.5 years as man, or 3 3/4, 3 3/4, whatever the fuck it is, who cares? We'll call it 4 years. In his time there, in his tenure as manager, he would have done some really good things. So maybe you would keep him for a little short run. My thing is, then he would get fired because the Phillies would kind of start to trend down because a lot of their veterans, and there would be a little bit of a turning point. Not to say they would have to be in the doghouse forever, right? Not to say that they would have to a big rebuilding stage. Like they could have a very quick rebuilding stage, but there would be that little point in time where you're trying to get back to your winning ways after they have this era of Philly baseball, maybe a short decline, and maybe they come right back out of it. But from that short little decline where I'm speculating, maybe other people are too, I don't want him there for that. And I think he would get fired anyway. I just don't think he's a career manager. And I would kind of I just don't know if he's the answer for when the decline starts. But I guess you can't be thinking that far in advance. You have to be thinking about now. And he's done a really good job. When you look at what he's done all in all, it would be every time he's kind of taken the reins, there's been a playoff berth, 2 division titles. They haven't, they had to clinch this division first, but most likely, right, their magic number is 1. They could do that today. But they haven't done that stuff since the Charlie Manuel era. And Charlie Manuel, is beloved there for obvious reasons. And they haven't really had they were fishing for a good manager for a long time. It wasn't this guy. It wasn't this guy. Rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg. Not Joe Girardi, yada yada, and you go till now, or Gabe Kepler days. Like it was kind of miserable trying to find a guy. Now maybe you do. I just personally don't think he's the answer. I think he has the really good group of guys to do it. But when shit starts to hit the fan, and also sometimes shit hits the fan with Bohm, sometimes shit hits the fan with Castellanos. I think Cassie's gone. At the deadline.
He is. They're going to put. I don't think he's going to be wearing a Phillies uniform at the start of next season.
So I don't know if you need an actual a career manager, if you need a hard ass, if you need a nose to the grindstone type of guy to kind of be able to set the tone for the next era of Phillies baseball. Maybe it's not right to think about try to predict the future. Maybe that's a bad take. Maybe I'm in the minority. I just don't think Rob Thompson is I think his tenure with the Phillies, it was good while it lasted. Win it this year. He'll probably still stick around if he wins it or whatever the fuck. But I'm just saying, if they look miserable in the playoffs, he's definitely gone, right? But
I think the only scenario where he is not the Phillies manager next year is if we get swept in the first series we play in the playoffs.
Or like last year, they didn't get swept against the Mets, but they looked bad, right? They lost like in whatever it was. So I think if they look miserable in the playoffs, then there's that. If they go on a little bit of a run like they're expected to, sure. If they win a pennant, he'll stick around. But I don't know. I think something has to give. I think sometimes the best jolt is, yes, you want to talk about a manager kind of lighting a fire under guys' ass, and that's a little jolt. Well, maybe sometimes the jolt is literally just bringing in a new manager. And I don't know if it's fair, because you want to have a little bit of loyalty towards the guy. I don't think it's fair to just have him stick around and then be on a short leash next year. So if you're sticking with him, you're sticking with him for the long haul.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his new contract even states, like how long they signed him for. But the only way he gets fired, because he has had, listen, I just talked about at the beginning of the program. There were some extremely dark times at Philly baseball for not too long ago at all. So his tenure as a Philly right now, these past 4 years or whatever you call it, 3.5, 3.25, whatever, has been fantastic in comparison, right, to these past guys. Has been fantastic. But they haven't got the big win yet. They haven't got the big win, and that will be something that looms over them. Like Charlie has the big win. He probably should have had more, and we don't talk about that as Phillies fans. He probably should have had more.
I don't know.
Yeah, but there were some good teams back then. And when we had good lineups too. But that's conversation for another day.
Well, you won when you were good. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
right?
And so now Rob's just chasing for that ring. I would love to see Bryce Harper get a ring, man. And that's what the kind of my main focus. I would love to see Zach Wheeler have a ring. Like I'd love to see Schwarber get another. I'd love to see. Does Trey have one? Yeah, Trey to get another as well. So like, I would love, and JT too. Like these guys on this team deserve rings, and I really would be happy for them if they got it.
Yeah. So if there's any insider stuff or political bullshit that goes along behind the scenes, like if it gets politicky, then the Phillies might do it this year. If there's if it's rigged, it should be rigged in favor of the Phillies, because look at everyone who deserves a ring on that team. No one in Detroit needs a fucking ring right now. Yeah. No one in Toronto needs a ring, not right now. Philly is like there's like 15 guys that need a ring now. So if it's, a little politicky or whatever, they want to rig shit. Rig it in favor of Philly, because that's the best way that you can do it. Plus, if they don't, it'll be World War Z in Philadelphia. So
yeah, it would be bad.
At least you got the Eagles to look forward to. 2-0 Birds. Okay, let's go to a blind ranking really quick with a plethora of home run milestones. But you're going to blind rank these and determine they're all milestones, Sean.
Okay, so all milestones.
There are five. Okay. There's 5 of them here. So you're blind rank 1 through 5. Sean has not seen these. Play along at home.
How many are there?
5.
Okay.
So they're all milestones, but you determine what is, blind ranking of what's the coolest ones and yada, yada, yada. Everyone knows how to blind rank by now, right? Come on, we're social media fucking driven society. We all know how to blind rank. It's a ranking, but you do it blind. Okay, here we go. 1 through 5. Here's the first one. Schwarber hits home run number 50 last week. Only the second Philly to ever hit 50 home runs in a season. Can you believe that? You know who the first was to do it?
Ryan Howard.
And now there's only 2. Schwarber becomes the second one.
I'm gonna put it at because it's so. This is to me for all you people at home. This is to me. I'll put it at 2 because there's probably something cooler than that and a bigger milestone. But Schwarber is awesome, and to be the we've had some good power hitters in the past, and the fact that Ryan Howard only did it once, people forget how good Ryan Howard was, man.
Yep.
People forget that, but for Schwarber to do it, get there, and he's still going. I'm pretty sure he's at 52 now. That's pretty cool to me. So I'm going to put it at 2.
Yeah, and Schwarber's flirted with it in the past too.
Yeah.
Like he's 49, 47, whatever the fuck. Mike Schmidt never done it. Jim Thome in his 3 years in Philly, I think he only spent 3 years there, never did it there. He has done never in Philly. Schmidt never did it. So Howard won, Schwarber, but you have that at number 2. Okay. Second one on the list, Cal Riley hits homer number 54, tying him with Mickey Mantle for most as a switch hitter.
I'm going to put him at 3. That is pretty cool. To put your name right next to Mickey Mantle, and because we know how highly everybody talks about Mickey Mantle. People talk about him as the greatest switch hitter of all time. one of the greatest Yankees of all time, which is another big,
My switch hitter right there.
But it's another, but it's it's something awesome to put your name next to that you can say forever. Is my name is in regard with Mickey Mantle.
So, and he could pass him too. Like this week, we could see him pass him. Maybe he does it today. So you have what? Schwarber 50 at 2. You have Cal at 54 at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tying Mantle. Schwarber second Philly ever 50 plus, and Cal tying him with Mantle for most as a switch hitter 54. Here's the third on the list. Judge passes Joe DiMaggio for 4th on the all-time Yankees home run list.
I'll put that at 4. When Judge, it's pretty unbelievable. Judge has only been in the league for how long now?
Since 17 was his rookie year.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, he did that. He's done that in, God, what, 8 years?
Yeah, and this is his 9th. Call it 8 because of the COVID year.
Yeah, so that is pretty nuts. That is pretty insane.
Yeah, pretty good, right? So that's what, 362. Maybe he hit 63 yesterday or something like that. 360.
Yeah,
some shit like along those lines. But that passes Joe DiMaggio for 4th all-time on the all-time Yankee home run list. And guess what? The all-time Yankee home run list. This isn't your Diamondbacks list. You know what I mean? This isn't the Colorado Rockies fucking list. This is like Babe Ruth fucking and Lou Gehrig, and so that's the company he's in.
And you're talking about A-Rod too, and everything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Is A-Rod? I don't know if A-Rod's up there, but
because he had it with had it with two teams. You're right.
It's just Yankees to do it because I don't even know the numbers off the top of my head because Ruth has over 700 in his career, but as on his Yankee list, it's like whatever the fuck the number. I don't know.
Yeah.
So just Yankee shit. But either way, those are the company he's in, and he just passed DiMaggio, so that's nice there. Maybe the next is Mickey is who he's chasing next. But I think the thing that makes that really cool, really quick, is you look at the guys who are on the list, and it's all old timers. So that list hasn't changed since who the fuck knows when, the 50s or stuff. You know what I mean? So that list, so he's he's changing the list for the first time in a long fucking time. Okay, here's another one. Salvador Perez on one swing over the weekend. One swing gives him career home run number 300 and Ribby number 1,000 for his career. His 300th home run and his 1,000th Ribby on one swing of the bat over the weekend.
I'm going to say this is pretty cool, and I'm actually going to put it at my number 1.
Whoa.
Because he's only the second player to hit 300 only the second catcher, I think it was, all time to hit 300 home runs for one team. I think it's him and Johnny Bench.
Okay.
And once again, you're putting yourself in a very high category with a historical figure in Johnny Bench as well. So Salvador Perez, Kansas City legend, been in the game for a long, long time, been a very prominent player in the game for a long, long time. So I want to give him his flowers.
Yeah, and he actually had the catcher record for home runs before Cal broke it this year.
Yeah.
For one season, that is. Okay, and then this would be your number 5 then. You had Schwarber 2, you had Cal at 3, Judge 4, Salvi 1. This is your number 5. Giancarlo Stanton hit his 449th career home run last week, tying him with Jeff Bagwell, Vladimir Guerrero for 41st on the all-time MLB home run list.
Yeah, that's a good 5th.
You like that for 5?
That's a good 5th. It is pretty sneaky that he's got that many because you think about all the injuries he's had in the past. This is how much of a beast he was early on in his career.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much of a beast he was. But yeah, that's a good 5 for me.
So Bagwell, Vladdy, and Stanton all with 449. I think that was last week. I still think he's at, or did he pass that and get to 450? That I don't fucking know.
When do you think he retires?
I don't know. I think he's got 5 years left. Well, I don't know what his contract. I don't know what his contract is, but he's about.
I also don't know how old he is either. So
he's 35. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what his contract is, but I think he's got as a DH that he looks good this year. He looks good this year. And even if the Yankees have him until he's 40 or maybe 39, 38, I don't know. But someone's gonna want him. Maybe he goes back to Miami or some bullshit towards the end if he needs a year or two to get to 500 home runs because he's about 50 home runs away. 50 home runs away with 5 years to do it. I mean, he could.
The only reason I say that is because of the injuries that have plagued him in the past. That's the only reason I asked that.
We'll see how he looks at the at the wrong side of 35, or the wrong side of 30, whatever they say. But either way, He's been good in the playoffs last year, so he's a big part of this. Like, he still looks like good. 36 doesn't the jump to 35 to 36 doesn't scare me. It's kind of like when you start to get to like the back end of that contract. I don't know his contract, but like the thing with him is like if he gets to 500 home runs, I think he's got to be damn well be a Hall of Famer. And he has going to make a very interesting case to being a Hall of Famer. But yeah, he's tickling 450 and then 50 home runs to get the. You can fucking do it. And here's the thing: even if he needs to do it and his Yankee contract runs out, I doubt they re-sign him. But like if he goes back to Miami, maybe they want a veteran guy. Maybe they want to put heinies in seats and they'll say, oh, he hit number 500 with us. And then if he's a Hall of Famer, he'll wear the Marlins hat in the Hall of Fame. It looks good for Miami.
Mm.
I don't know if they have a lot of guys representing Miami or Florida in the Hall of Fame from them.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I mean, like any other Hall of Famer, I don't think is wearing their hat.
No, I don't think so at all.
I don't know if anyone is.
Everybody had a short. If they're a Hall of Famer, they had a short stint in.
Yeah, like Pudge Rodriguez ain't wearing a fucking Miami hat.
No.
Or a Florida hat. I think he only had like 1 year there. Miggy's gonna be wearing a Detroit hat anyway.
Yeah.
But that just brings me to a little transition to some of this now, because we talked about Judgy in that blind rank. We talked about Stanton. This is the best home run duos of all time here. You can see we don't have to go through and cherry pick these, but I did highlight Aaron Judge and Stanton tied for 9th all time in like most home runs hit in the same game. Not necessarily back-to-back home runs, but homers that they hit in the same game. Judge and Stanton have homered in the same game 56 different times. The best is obviously 76, Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron. But you go through this list and look at the amount of Hall of Famers, the amount of baseball history that oozes on this list. They're tied with Mickey Mantle and Yogi 56 times. But 56 times in a game, in 56 different games have they both homered in the same game. Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, 57. So they could very well pass them. They could very well pass Chipper Jones and Andrew Jones of 61. Those are some of your best home run duos of all time.
That's pretty wild. I didn't know when you put this up. I was looking at it. Because you didn't write same game, so I was really confused about what was going on.
Yeah. Same game.
That's nuts. 56 times the same, because they've what? How many years have they been together?
Since 18.
Oh, so almost in Judge's entire. I didn't know. See, I didn't know Stanton was a Yankee for this long.
Since 18, but yeah, well, he's been banged up here and there.
Exactly. So that is pretty impressive.
But yeah, good for them. Good for the big boys. Okay, so we move on to a little cool or not cool. Some of the weekend's most notable stories. Here's the big one, Sean, was Anthony Rizzo retired as a Cub. This was, I think, Saturday. He retired as a Cub. He put on a Cubs jersey. This was really cool. I don't know if you saw it. And his jersey that he wore was signed with a bunch of like kids' signatures. I don't know. I know he does a lot with cancer because Rizzo is a cancer survivor. So I don't know if it was that. I didn't look too deep into it, but I know his jersey was signed by like whatever. So that was really cool. And then here's the thing that kind of gets you here is the Cubs rookie Moises Ballesteros. I think that's how you say Ballesteros. He hits his first career home run. Goes oppo. He hits it right. Rizzo's hanging out in right field. He hits it right to Rizzo. Literally right to the seat Rizzo's sitting on. His first career homer right to Rizzo. Oh, Anthony in and out of his big palm, in and out of his hand. That wasn't cool. It'd be cool if he caught it, but he goes right to Rizzo. That's the kind of the funny bit. But the real cool part was that Rizzo retired as a Cub.
Yeah, I think the whole entire scenario is cool. Got to make a play, Rizzo. But the whole Anthony Rizzo, cool player, very cool career. And what he means to the Cubs, bringing them that World Series, like that meant something. That meant a whole lot. He's going to be forever remembered in Chicago. It's only right that he retired as a Cubby.
Yep,
so very, very cool.
Couldn't agree more. Here's another one. Brewers walk it off for their 91st win of the season. This was yesterday. They walk it off. So in the midst of, so that's cool, right? You know, the walk-off festivities. Guys are getting like the Gatorade bucket post-game interview. That's all cool, right? Brewers are the best team in baseball. Nice. Here's what's not cool is that Ken Rosenthal. I got a little picture here. Ken Rosenthal, as they're doing the Gatorade shower, he gets bumped a little bit, trips over the can. Well, it kind of isn't really. He doesn't trip because I don't know if maybe he trips, he stumbles, doesn't fall to the ground. There's a trip that if you trip, does that imply that you fall? Because he doesn't. He like bumps into the guy. The cameraman falls, and then Rosenthal, while he's on the ground, gives him that like death stare right there, and then doesn't help him up. He's like gets mad. The cameraman was like there, like cameraman's
doing his job.
Cameraman's doing his job. This is like a walk-off festivity. It is such a not a time to be like a strict moment at all. It's all fun and games. Gatorade showers going on. This kid, who I don't even know who he is, but he looks like a young kid and one of those scrappy young dudes in Milwaukee. He's having a fucking time of his life. They're the best team in baseball. And now you have Ken Rosenthal kind of like stumbling over a fucking cameraman and then giving him that death stare, not helping him up. Ken Rosenthal, the internet's all over Ken right now. Ken Rosenthal, dick. How about that?
Yeah, I'm in on the Ken Rosenthal being an asshole. All of X is all over this guy's ass, as they should be.
There's giving him the Napoleon complex because he's 5'5", but I don't know, just because you're just because you're like 5'5" and like a dick. I don't know if that's necessarily a Napoleon complex. I think you're just a dick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's just kind of an asshole. That was what one thing that we didn't mention, which is also really cool. If you haven't seen the video, you need to go watch it. Bob, I don't know how to say his last name. Uecker.
Bob Uecker.
Uecker. Sorry for the Pete. R.I.P. First off, but before he passed, he wrote a message to the Brewers for Pat Murphy to read to the team once they clinched a playoff spot. And Pat Murphy had a very emotional, post game ad reading the message, the letter that was written to the team afterwards. So very cool, very, very cool video. Need to go watch it, but it doesn't take away from the fact that Ken Rosenthal is now a renowned dick. So.
Yeah, I didn't hear that about the Uecker right in the note.
Yeah, go watch it. It's on the Milwaukee Brewers page. It's pretty cool.
It sounds like that. I mean, that's incredible. And now the Brewers having a little extra, as if they needed any extra juice. They're the best team in baseball. Now they got more juice.
Yep.
And I bet you Pat Murphy's probably eating a fucking pocket quesadilla. That was the new one. Did you see that?
Pocket quesadilla. Yeah, that's a little. I don't know how pocket quesadilla travels. I think a pocket pancake in reality might travel a little bit better, ironically, than a pocket quesadilla. But hey,
yep, you get cheese in the like the lint from like your sweat insides of your sweatshirt is kind of getting in like the cheese. Yeah, you don't want that. Okay, last thing, or no, maybe two more things for cool, not cool. One is here. Bye Anthony Volpe. I don't know. Maybe that's cool. Maybe that's not cool. I don't know. Hello, Jose Caballero. Jose Caballero might lead the league in stolen bases. A lot of them came with Tampa Bay, but he was a trade deadline acquisition. Jose Caballero hits a homer yesterday. He's been playing a very good. That's the most important thing is his defense. He's also going to steal a lot of bases. And I hate to say this, but anything right now is better than Volpe.
That's what I'm going to leave. I was going to leave this one to you. Like, me, it's kind of cool because the Volpe for you guys was your golden boy saving grace for the longest time. That's all I heard from Yankees fans for like the longest time. That's what Volpe was. And so now to see his downfall, but then of course you guys get this guy, which I think he's being looked at more as like, what you're getting out of him. Like Volpe has been this guy who like his expectations were set so goddamn high that there was no way he was ever going to live up to him. Oh, he's the next Jeter. Oh, this and that. Like his expectations got set so high that he was almost set up for failure. You guys don't really expect a whole lot out of the Caballero.
Yeah.
You expect him to steal bases, play good defense. So anything above that is head and is like eye opening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know. Yankees Twitter's going nuts. Like he had a homer yesterday, and like he has like 5 homers on the season, and that might have been his first as a Yankee. But everyone's like, "Oh yeah," like or like he made like a play like going to his left up the middle at short, and he was like a nice play, a sliding play to his left, gets up, like nice throw, like whatever, he gets an out. And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" So they kind of there's a little bit of a glaze, but they're glazing him a little bit. But it's very different to it's almost day and night. He's also hitting 233 on the season, but that anything is better than like Volpe's like 209 or whatever the fuck it is. And the last 7 days he's hitting 333, so he's been playing more. He's got like 3 bags in like the past 4 days. Maybe like 5 bags in the last like 5 or 6 games 4 bags in the last like 5 or 6 games that he's played. A homer yesterday. The defense is better. So I hate to say it and shit on Volpe like that, but there needed to be a change, and the fact that Caballero can rise to the occasion is the cool part here. Sucks for Volpe though, because I do root for the kid, but wasn't doing it, and similar to like Edmundo Sosa, he's got to fill in. Obviously, different circumstances, right? Trey's a stud. But Sosa's got to fill in, right? We're going to talk about this in just a second because Bo Bichette, He's banged up. Who's going to fill in for him? There's other shortstops around the league that are trying to, and other injuries. Who's going to fill in? In this particular circumstance, not an injury, a guy who's underperforming and a guy needs to step up. Well, Caballero has been that, so great. And then before we get into our kind of notable injuries and see who can kind of step up and what injuries matter the most, Trey, obviously a big one, little foreshadow, but Skubal does get banged up. He's still probably a Cy Young favorite. We have to kind of compare. I don't know what the odds look like, but he got his doors blown off at his last start. That's the not cool part, right? So Skubal's still probably the Cy Young favorite. He's still a stud. That's cool. What's not cool is he got his doors blown off in Miami, and he came out in the fourth inning due to an injury. It looks like he's going to make his next start on Thursday. I think that's what we determined. He's going to make his next start against Cleveland on Thursday. But a little injury, which is he's the face of that team, so that sucks. He's your game one starter. He's your big game pitcher. Tigers are a first-place team. That's a tough – if he were to go down, that's a tough loss. It looks like he'll be okay, though. But he does get his doors blown off. Crochet, meanwhile, got a win yesterday and avoided a sweep. I still want to say Skubal's your Cy Young favorite. We could take a look at that, and then we'll transition to other notable injuries because Detroit fans had a massive scare when he came out of the game early with it was his side.
So this is not cool. This is not cool at all. Let's just get that out of the way. This is not cool at all. I think all of baseball fans in general want to see Tariq Skubal pitch in October. So I think a lot of people, especially if you're a Tigers fan, you're like, wow, this is like our number one guy, our best player on our team, the hands down kind of deal.
Left side right here. Left side.
So if Tariq Skubal, if I was a Detroit Tigers fan, and Tariq Skubal was walking off the mound. Guess what, guys? I got a little bit of history with this, seeing Zach Wheeler get but I would be legitimately crying that he was getting walked off. And then now they can figure it out that they are now he is now okay. He's going to be making his next scheduled start. So we're going to see how he looks then. But there was definitely times for Tariq for them to worry about it.
Yeah, there was definitely, I think before you know anything, you're like, oh my gosh. And then you finally get to exhale a little bit. So we'll see how he looks at his next start. I still think he's your Cy Young favorite. What do the odds say? I think he's still the favorite, right?
He's 100% still the favorite. Let me look at it real quick.
Let's do a AL Cy Young check. Because that's the only Cy Young race worth noting. I mean, Skeen's got it fucking locked up on the.
Skeen's Skubal's still actually very heavily favored, at least according to that MGM. Yeah, Skubal's still the heavy favorite.
I'd have to. Maybe on Wednesday we'll dive deeper and compare the two, because Skubal's ERA went up a little bit. I think he was leading the league in ERA. Maybe he still is, but he got his doors blown off. It was like 4 earned. He came out in the fourth. 4 earned. Now he's a guy that can fucking clean that up.
Yeah,
4 runs in the first 3 innings. He can still take you to the 6th and 7th and kind of clean that up. But Miami really just playing fucking baseball. They don't give a shit.
No, yeah. So Tariq Skubal has a 2.26 still. It's second behind Skeens, first in the AL. Hunter Brown's got 2.27, so that's something we want to keep an eye on as well. But Skubal is still Crochet's got him by 16 strikeouts, and then innings wise, he's got him by 8. So he leads him in those aspects, but in Skubal's got a better whip. He's got a better ERA. I think Crochet's got him in wins. So, I mean, it's up in the air, but Skubal still is the heavy favorite.
Let's go to some of these notable injuries and transition a little bit, because we'll see. And that was a scare for Skubal, but there are teams that are actually have guys going down seriously. These are actual. You could be somewhat concerned about Skubal. We'll see how he looks. It's his left side. Hopefully he eats his bananas, and I don't know if it's I don't know. But you got, eat well, rehab accordingly, and we hope that he goes deep and looks like himself on Thursday against Cleveland, who is trying to sneak into the playoffs, by the way. But then we look at these actual guys who are banged up, and what does this mean for certain teams? Will Smith to the Dodgers. That's a new one. Bo Bichette's new. There's Altuve day-to-day right now. That's kind of a newer one too. And then you kind of have the older guys like Roman Anthony. It's been known that he's on a 10-day IL. Guys like Turner and Bohm, been known. The Rangers are trying to sneak into the playoffs with the absence of Semi and Seager, Evaldi, some of these guys won't be back for the playoffs. Some of these guys are out for the year. But what do you make of some of these? Like, break some of these down. What is the biggest hit? Yada, yada, yada.
Will Smith is huge because obviously catcher is one of the most important positions in baseball, and not to mention he's a great catcher and one of the better. And like to say you're one of the better players on the Dodgers is a big feat because with all the notable names that they have. So that's a huge hit. Kyle Tucker has been out, right?
Yeah, I think he's been out for some time.
That to me, if you're gonna list off some names, he's probably one of the bigger ones because of how bad that rest of that Cubs lineup has been the second half. Like they need Kyle Tucker. They need their leader. They need their veteran. They need the guy who's had that experience come October. That's a huge one. You need him to come back into full strength. Altuve, the Astros have sucked recently. So like that is another big hit on top of it. Roman Anthony, it's like up or down. I'd say he's obviously a great player, but he's new. Bo Bichette, big hit. Trey Turner, boom, Rangers, like all of these guys, everybody we listed is a big hit to their team in one way or another. But I still think the biggest out of all of them is Kyle Tucker. If Kyle Tucker is out of that lineup with how bad Suzuki, PCA, like the list goes on, has looked in the second half this year, they need Tucker badly, like desperately.
Yeah, I think there's like two that really stick out to me. One is Tucker for different reasons. Tucker, like if you look at like what's the biggest hit, yes, Tucker's big. A lot of these guys will be back for the playoffs, so that's a good sign. Tucker might be back in this week, or at least he's set to. Maybe if he needs a longer IL stint, then they'll extend him. But Tucker's like weird because he's on a contract year, so for him personally, that really fucking sucks. So, that just sucks. For him personally, I think that's probably why no one wanted to talk about how he was. Because remember, they were trying to keep it quiet that he was banged up. Well, now he officially lands on the IL. You can't keep that quiet. But so he's on a contract year. That sucks for him personally. Now, who knows? He can come back and kick ass in October. He does have a lot of playoff experience from those Astro days, so he could very well salvage a season a little bit there. But he's been very bad second half on a contract year. Now he's hurt. Sucks for him personally if he wants to get paid. And the other one is the Texas Rangers, who are 2 games back. They're fighting for a wild card spot, a playoff spot. Everyone else on this list is pretty much is currently in playoff contention. The Rangers are not, and they have Semi and Seager, Evaldi all on the shelf. So that's another one that stands out to me. If they're gonna they were struggling with these guys, can they? Being 2 games back, they're not out of it. They've been playing better without these guys. I think Evaldi's out for the year. Semi and Seager could come back at a certain point. But to be able to do what they're doing, maybe it's because they have all these young contributors that are just saying, like, fuck it. We're just going to go out and ball out. We're young. We have nothing to lose. Where Semien and Seager are looked at a higher standard. It's like, we got to really be good and rally around these guys. Maybe these young guys are just saying, screw it. Let's just ball out and have fun doing it because they have. They've been playing very good ball. But they're 7-3 in the last 10. Yeah, they've been playing really good ball. They're not totally out of it. They're actually 3 games out of first place. So if they really want them to fuck around, but I don't know. That's a big ask. But either way, like to see those 3 guys go out, that is to think that they're gonna clinch a playoff spot or sneak into a playoff spot without that 3-headed monster, arguably their ace with respect to DeGrom, and then their guys up the middle. Those are some high paid motherfuckers that are huge contributors, and now they have like these younger guys doing it. That would be nuts. As far as like some other things, like obviously they're all big hits. Roman Anthony's a big hit. The way he deepens that lineup is incredible. But that left side in Philly is interesting. I'm not really too worried about it because I think everyone loves Otto Kemp. I guess he plays third. And Sosa. So I think in terms of like next man up type shit, the Phillies have that covered because Sosa has answered the call time and time again.
So is Kemp the past couple games as well.
And Kemp, I think more so recently. Sosa, like the first half, if they wanted him to play left field, he robbed the home run that one time. Remember that? So like I'm comfortable with like him filling the void until playoff time when Trey comes back. Bo Bichette, I don't know who they replace him with. Ernie Clement, maybe. I don't know. Will Smith is interesting because now I think you look for like a Dalton Rushing, who's like a rookie guy to save your backs, to save the void of your backstop there. I think the Phillies can kind of have it covered because we've seen these guys do it in terms of who can fill the void. Rangers are interesting because now you're going to try to sneak into the playoffs without your big 3. I'll say big 3 because Evaldi was the way he was pitching. I would say those are your big 3 in Texas. And then who was the other one I mentioned? Oh, Tucker, for him, for personal matters. Tucker is a big hit because you're on a contract year, now you're banged up. That's crazy.
Turner's also worth mentioning, though, because of how good of a year he's been having. And also, two guys on this list are the two hit leaders in the entire MLB right now.
Oh,
Bichette and Turner.
Wow.
They're 1 and 2.
How about that?
And they still are. Also, this is completely off topic, but I'm gonna say it because I'm now looking at the stats. Julio Rodriguez is tied for 4th in the entire MLB in hits this year. We talk about how bad his slow starts are, and then for him to just shoot out of a rocket in the back half this year. There's no denying it. He's a special player, but it's like his resurgence, his numbers this year. He's batting .269. He's got 30 home runs, 91 ribbies, and 27 stolen bases.
He'll be a 30-30 guy, and he did it quietly.
And tied for 4th and hit, like, just an incredible player, especially with how bad he was at the beginning. Because that's all we talked about in the beginning of the year with him, was how bad he was to start out. And we know he has slow starts.
Yeah.
But God damn, he's been unbelievable as of late.
Notorious slow starter. But that's a good transition to the standings check because he's probably a big reason. Well, he definitely is a big reason as to why Seattle now stands alone in first place. They're a game ahead of Houston. I don't know the last time there was a movement in the West. Houston's been holding on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's Seattle.
It's been a while. So we talked about Seattle having a great trade deadline, which they did. These guys have come, help them out and stuff like that. But Julio Rodriguez also is a big factor to that. The Mariners have, let's see, the Mariners have Kansas City going in. There's 3 teams we got to talk about in this division. So the Mariners have Kansas City, but then guess what? The number 2 and 3 team play each other. Do they go tonight? They do. They go tonight. So the Astros and the Rangers are playing each other. Astros 1 game back. Rangers 3 games back. 2 games out of the wild card spin. So yeah, we can talk about the Mariners all they want, but we got to talk about the Astros and Rangers right now.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, really quick on Seattle. 9-game win streak. So that's that and the way that J-Rod's playing. They're in first place, but you're absolutely right. Texas can really get their shit kicked in. Where are they? They're in Houston. So Texas can really get their shit kicked in here, and Houston can take care of business, or Texas can really make up some serious ground here.
Yeah, I would love to see Texas flip the script. Like, what if the Texas goes in sweeps, and the Astros are now out of the playoffs?
And who does Seattle play?
They got the Royals, and the Royals have not. I mean, they just kicked the shit out of the Phillies yesterday, but like they have not looked great.
So you would assume, yeah, I know they haven't. They're 6 games back. There was a time where they were on the cusp, and now Cleveland 2.5 back. If you're just looking at the wild card standings, but so you would assume that Seattle takes care of business against Kansas City, and then it's really up in the air for these for that West, right? Houston, the battle of the Lone Star State.
Mm-hmm. So I would love, me personally, I would love to see the Rangers flip the script on the Astros.
So Texas is the hotter team right now.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Astros fans have been calling, like the Astros pitching outside of Brown, like Framber has looked out of sorts.
He fucked me in fantasy.
Yeah, he has looked out of sorts. He's looked horrible. And then McCullers is hurt. The back end, I don't know how Javier has been. So like that's another one. But like the Rangers got Leiter, who Leiter has looked really good in his last couple starts. Merrill Kelly and DeGrom going for them.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Texas Rangers come in here and flip the script.
I want to see it. Yeah, look at that. Merrill. Yeah,
yes.
So Houston does get good contributions. They're not a team that's going to roll over and die, right? They've been around too long. They know how to do shit too well. They do say what you want about them with the 2017 scandal, but there is a winning culture in Houston. So when it comes down to these types of games, we'll see. Houston can do it, but also Texas, they won a World Series a few years ago. They didn't make the playoffs last year, but they don't. They got Bochy. They won it in 23. It's not like they're just like going to roll over and die either. So interesting stuff going on in Texas. That is maybe one of the more enticing matchups this weekend, or we can kind of work our way to the East and then transition to the Central and go to Detroit and Cleveland, which might be another enticing matchup. Right now, Detroit Cleveland playing really good ball. They're 9-1 in their last 10 on a 4-game win streak. Where Detroit is playing all right baseball. We talked about this before, Sean. It's crazy how Detroit hasn't clinched a spot yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of more credit to. I mean, Detroit's been iffy. They've 5-5 in their last 10, but that's been kind of the story of their second half. They've just been iffy. They haven't had that. They might have had like one notable win streak in the second half, but the Guardians are 9-1 in their last 10, so they're staying in contention, which I hate. But anyway, got to give them credit where credit's due. We got to give them a look at 2.5 games back. I don't see them jumping the Rangers and making the playoffs and stuff like that, but they're making it interesting. They're making it interesting. So we got to give them some credit in that aspect.
And that's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for is to make it interesting. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series, and then Scooble we talked about looking to make a start on Thursday. Hopefully he shoves.
Yeah, I'd like to see Scooble. That.
Let's go, Tarek. What's going on in the East then? Well, I guess here, let's go to this one really quick because the Twins in that division, but the Twins suck. But they will host. They are hosting the Yankees, and then that's kind of moves us to the East because A's going to Fenway, and Blue Jays and Tampa. Toronto won yesterday, and the Yankees lost. So the Yankees are 4 games back. Red Sox 5.5 back. Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox over the weekend, which keeps them in second place. Toronto's still playing good ball. 4-game win streak. Toronto, and keeps them in first place. The Yankees, at a certain point, they were like 2 games back. Maybe it was like, oh, Yankees can still win the division. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. They got to take care of business against Minnesota. You figure the Red Sox, who are at home with the A's in town, can take care of business. And you maybe could think that the Blue Jays going to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay could play you hard. They're not like they're under 500, but they could play you hard.
Yeah, 100%. I don't see. I see these 3 teams they're making the playoffs unless the Red Sox completely implode on themselves, which I don't see happening. I see Toronto, New York, and Boston all staying in the playoffs, but maybe just in different seeding. That's the only thing I can really say about the AL East. I think it stays the same. I think Toronto wins it, and I think the Yankees probably finish with a better record than Boston, but not by much. Not by much. I don't think much changed in that aspect. I think more so stays the same.
Yeah, and it's going to be big to see what the remaining strength of schedule looks like. I know that the Yankees kind of got through their hardest point of the schedule in terms of like their September schedule. Like they got through Houston, Toronto, Detroit, Boston, all like that. They actually won 3 out of those 4 series. The only series they lost was at Detroit. But they won. They won the series of Houston. They actually 2 out of 3 there. 2 out of 3 against Toronto. 2 out of 3 again. Oh, sorry. They lose the series 2 out of 3 Detroit, and then take 2 out of 3 from Boston over the weekend. Now you look ahead. It's Minnesota, Baltimore, White Sox, Baltimore for the Yankees. Remaining. So Yankees actually have a can really do some things. I don't know what Boston looks like. We'll see.
Boston's got the A's this week, Tampa Bay, Blue Jays, and Tigers. So they have a harder strength of schedule than the Yankees for sure. But then on top of that, the Blue Jays have Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Red Sox, and Rays again. So it's not too hard in their aspect. Like Tampa Bay can be sneaky on you, and they got to play them 7 times. But
I think
Boston
Toronto,
in there.
Oh wait, shit! What am I looking at? Toronto's strength of schedule. You're saying? I think they have an easy one too, right?
Yeah, I mean they got Tampa Bay 7 times out of the 16 games they have left. No, 13 games they have left. So they have them more than half the time. And Tampa Bay can be sneaky and all, but I think that's a good. I'd say the Boston's got the hardest strength of schedule.
Yeah. So Toronto, what's good. Unless you're a Toronto fan, what's good for them is that they have guys that can give it to you. Like Tampa Bay could play a hard. You would expect them to Toronto to take care of business. Kansas City's looking to do something. If they can't give their let their hopes up yet, so maybe Kansas City plays you hard. Boston's going to do it, and then you have Tampa Bay again. We'll see what happens with them. But Toronto, they'll probably clinch sometime soon. I don't know what their magic number is. Don't want to calculate it. We're not a math podcast. We're fucking baseball. So and then the Yankees I think have a pretty decent little strength of schedule too. Boston might be the hardest out of the 3, so that's a little side note there.
Yeah, but we can switch over to the NL real quick.
Phillies Dodgers. That might be the game of the week.
Yeah, besides minus Rangers Astros, Phillies Dodgers. This is a playoff preview right now.
Yep.
Phillies got the Dodgers, and then also it's worth noting the Mets got the Padres. So top two teams in the East playing the top two teams in the West. We're seeing some playoff baseball come to fruition here pretty early, again, a couple weeks early. I think it's going to be an interesting Phillies-Dodgers series. Phillies have already clinched. Dodgers looking to still clinch, stay above the Padres. Mets finally got their first win in a while yesterday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so they're going up against the Padres, who are 6-4 in their last game, 2-game win streak. Phillies are going against the Dodgers, who are on the 6-4 in their last 10 2-game win streak. It's more so just who's playing better baseball right now. I'd love to see the Phillies go out there. The Phillies historically against the Dodgers, maybe this year, the past 2 or 3 years, have a pretty good record against the Dodgers. So
we got the Chase Utley series.
Yeah, the Chase Utley series, but they have
Silver Fox series.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch some playoff baseball, some late baseball, some West Coast baseball.
That's right. That's right.
But then also Padres are going to shitty fields, so we'll see kind of how that goes. The one I'm really interested about in the West, though, Giants, 1.5 game back on the Mets right now. Diamondbacks, 2 games back in the wild card on the Mets, and they play each other.
That's Tuesday. Yeah, I mean, wait, what were you talking about?
I said, so the Giants are 1.5 game back in the wild card. Really took a surge there while the Mets were sucking, and then Diamondbacks are only 2 games out as well. And guess what? They play each other. Spin.
Yeah, that's crazy. Gallon tonight.
I know. So they're in. I think they're in San Francisco. They are. They're in San Francisco.
Are they?
They're in the desert. My bad. They're in the desert. They're in the desert right now. What do you think happens? Do you think the Giants win enough games and the Mets lose enough games that they flip-flop? Or does Arizona win enough games? Mets, what do you think the standings look like come Friday?
I think the Giants and the Mets could seriously flip-flop here.
So do I. I think the Giants can take 2 and the Mets can at least lose 2 against the Padres.
Yeah, I think the Padres could. So the Mets, I don't know. We'll see how this shit works because the Mets did break like an 8 or 9 game losing streak yesterday, whatever it was, on a Pete Alonso walk-off homer. So, yes, they snap it, and they also won in a nice little fashion there. By the way, where's the Mets? They play Tuesday. So the Mets get a travel day on fucking Monday to go west, to go out to San Diego.
No, they're home.
I don't think so.
Are they? No, you're right. Yeah, they do get a travel game. Why don't the Phillies get a fucking travel game?
I don't know.
Oh, whatever. Fuck it. I actually don't give a shit. The Mets are so far back; they're never catching us.
No. The Mets are home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they are home. They still get. So the Padres get a travel day.
Yeah. So why do the Padres get a fucking travel day?
I don't know, but do you think that the standings will flip flop spin?
Yeah, I think the Giants overtake them. So they were home. Oh, they're in Queens. So they were home against the Rockies, and they get a fucking travel day. Yeah, I think
you're too worried about this travel day, bro.
I think the Padres take 2 out of 3, and the Giants can take care of business against the Diamondbacks. I don't think the Diamondbacks have what it takes. They're 500. Yes, they're like 2 or 2.5 back. They're 500, and I don't see them. I mean, the Giants are only 1 game above 500. They have the same amount of wins, both with 75 wins, but I don't think neither of those teams blow me away. Really, the Diamondbacks don't blow me away, and I had them being a second-place team this year before the season started. But Zach Gallen's so up and down, and when you're the Giants on a trying to really shock the nation and come from behind, the Mets are begging to get their spot taken. The Mets are begging to fall out of and no one has been able to take it from yet. The Reds haven't taken it. They're not gonna. Now the Giants are the next team or the next men up. So the Mets are praying to lose. They're doing everything they can to fall out of playoff contention, and they've been holding on by a thread. Actually, yesterday, Giants and Mets might have been tied for that 6th spot, and then the Mets won, Giants lost. So now they stand alone again. But the Mets are begging to fall out of play, and no one's taking it from them. So I think this is the week that the Giants can do it. Gallen is so interesting. Sometimes he looks good. He's actually looked good over the past month and a half or so. But I think the Giants, who are hungry, can get to him. And then we'll see. We'll see what they look like. But we talked about this already. if you want to put the Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Reds all in the same conversation, because those are the teams on the outside looking in that maybe could take it from the Mets and for that 6th seed, that 3rd wild card spot. To me, the Giants are the most put together out of those 3.
Yeah, the Reds just got swept by the A's.
Oh, did they? So they're just a little premature for them. I thought, I love Tito, but they have too many question marks. They're just too young. This isn't their year. The Giants are just sellers. They got to get their shit together before they. And just because you're sellers doesn't mean anything. The Giants might have been sellers low key, and now look at them. But at least they have more of a superstar face. Like I don't know. They still have like the faces. They still have Logan Webb at the top of your rotation with Robbie Ray. That's 2 All-Stars this year at your 1-2 punch. Don't know who their game 3 would be.
Not to mention their good bullpen.
And they have a really good bullpen, like things that the Mets can't really claim. Like, I don't know. I like the Giants more than I like the Mets. So obviously we're Mets haters, notorious Mets haters. But I think the Giants are more put together than those 3 teams on the outside looking in. And I think where things stack up right now, if you're going to roll, to have a big game starter and an ace is a box that you need to check if you're going to be a playoff team. The Giants check that box. The Mets don't. So let's go Giants. Let's see what they can do.
I would love come Friday to say the words, the Mets are out of the playoffs. I would love it. And this is, hey, all we can ask for, we already said it when we were talking about the Guardians, is for people to make it interesting. Well, guess what? The NL has got a little interesting. There are 4 teams right now. I mean, I don't really count the Reds because, I mean, I think they're out of it now. They just got swept by the A's. But Mets, Giants, Diamondbacks, and I guess I'll throw the Reds in there. They're all within 3 games of each other right now with 12 games to go. This is why we love September baseball, baby. This is what we live for these standings to get shaken up and everything. So I'm excited. We talked about the Reds a little bit more too, but they got the Cardinals. I guess that's more of a footnote. I think they're done, but I guess I'll let you sign off on it a little bit too.
Well, yeah, and even with the Mets Padres, like Michael King, I guess that's his first start.
No, second.
Is it second? Okay, so but back off the IL, and you got King and then Pivetta for Tuesday, Wednesday, which is big. King, Pivetta. I don't think the Mets roll out big guys like they just can't.
No, they're not going to.
Like even the Giants, like if this would be like a playoff preview and you're going to roll out your best guys, obviously this is just happenstance because this is just the spot in the rotation that we're at. But King, Pivetta is a big 1-2. Same with a Webb and Robbie Ray. To my last point, like. Big 1-2. What's a big 1-2 in Queens? They fucking don't have any. So I love that. Speaking of a 1-2, though, we will see Suarez and Sanchez. That's a big 1-2 right there. A couple of lefties in Chavez Ravine. And Suarez, we talked about this before we went on, actually. Suarez is like the guy you want for that game 1. Like if today's an opportunity to clinch a division title, Suarez is the guy you kind of want out there.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, with respect to Sanchez, but Suarez just to kind of be like, hey, we're in Chavez Ravine. We're going against, all these big motherfuckers in LA. Suarez,
low heart rate kind of guy.
Yeah, low heart rate kind of guy. He just goes out, he'll shove against Sheehan. And then Tuesday, Sanchez and Ohtani. And then Wednesday, pair of lefties for you, Sean Luzardo and Snell. West Coast baseball. Let's get nuts about it.
But I think just to finish the program real quick, we'll talk about the Reds and who they have. We'll talk about they're playing the Cardinals. I think it's over for the Reds. They don't have enough juice in my eyes. I just don't think they're there yet. But that's really all I got to say about the Reds.
Fuck the Reds.
Yeah.
They got everybody hopes up. We were all Reds fans about what? A couple
2 weeks ago? Yeah.
We were all Reds fans because they were a half game behind the Mets. And the Mets were just like, oh, so we don't want to make the playoffs. Just someone take it. Someone. And then Reds couldn't take it.
If the Mets make the playoffs, and I hear a freaking Mets fan be happy about making the playoffs, and they're saying it's because of their team's good, no. I'm just going to say it's because they're freaking lucky that everybody else sucked when they sucked. They got freaking lucky if they actually end up. They do not deserve to make the playoffs.
Their fans are going to love it, though.
I know, and it's going to piss me off, and I'm going to have to talk to Joey about it, and it's going to make me so mad.
Well, I don't know why they get excited. And then they wonder why they get heartbroken every year.
I hate them. I hate them all. But FTM, keep the apple in the hole. Go Phils, baby.
The apple in the hole. Go Phils. Possibly clinch tonight a division title, which would be their second division title in 2 years.
Yep.
Should we end on a trivia?
Yeah, sure.
Trivia, Phillies trivia. Play along at home. This is called. Okay. Let me. I have to go to the. Find one thing. I don't have the trivia question off the top of my head. I'm finding one. I'm making one up. Yeah, hold on. I'm making one up. Okay. Phillies have the history. It's a Phillies history question. They have 2 World Series titles, 1980 and 2008. We all know that. 8 pennants. Shit. 2-8 in the postseason or in the World Series. Okay. The Phillies have. Okay. What do I want to say? I don't even know what I want to say. I don't have a trivia question anymore.
All right, whatever. But anyway, that's it for Monday. We'll tune back in on Wednesday to give a little more update on the standings because it might get juicy come Wednesday. As always, FTM, go Phils. Let's see what the Yankees can do as well.
So the Phillies are looking to win their first division since last year, right? They win the division. Yeah. They won in 24. Before that, when was the last time they won the division?
2012.
2011. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.